if you're investing.
Investors will.
The podcast for all things real estate investing.
So, welcome back to another episode of Investor One-on-One, the podcast where we talk to the nation's top real estate investors. Today, we have a true game changer in the real estate investing world, an industry leader who has transformed how investors scale and succeed. He's a #1 best-selling author, the host of Entrepreneur DNA, and the Science of Flipping podcasts. Besides being a master deal maker with over 3,000 home flips to his name, he's also a dedicated coach, a mentor, and he's helping countless investors break through barriers and achieve financial freedom every day. Please welcome to the show, Justin Colby. Justin, thank you for joining us.
Right on, Or. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
For sure. It's our pleasure to have you and learn more about you today. So, yeah, let's just start with your story, Justin. How did you first get into real estate and what led you to where you are today?
So I was broke, busted, and disgusted back in 2007. I lost everything. The bank took my home, foreclosed on my home. Repo Man took my car, and I was sleeping on a couch. But I decided real estate was going to be my vertical. I needed to be in real estate and become successful in the real estate space. And so when I made the decision of what I wanted, then I decided and made a decision on who I needed to be to get the thing I wanted. And that was a full-time real estate investor, no quitting, all in, just go. And so that was back in 2007. So obviously, 18 years ago, I started this business, and here I am now after thousands of deals done and millions of dollars of holdings. But I'll tell you that part where how it got started, what the person listening to this or watching this needs to understand is you got to first decide what you want and then decide who you need to be to get it, right? And if you can do that, so take that. If you can do that and make a decision of what you want and clearly make a decision of what you want and then turn into the person that you need to be to get what you want, you'll never quit.
Can you tell us more about your first deal and where you invest in today?
Yeah, so my first deal was 9 months into getting into real estate. It took me 9 months to get my first deal. It was what we would call a wholesale. We essentially bought it and then resold it. And it was very transactional. So we used transactional funding, still around today, but not as common as it was back then. And then, that was in Phoenix, Arizona. I did thousands of deals in Phoenix, Arizona. Now I've built an organization that we do deals across the country, primarily in 9 states. I do deals primarily in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Arizona, and I think I said Georgia. So that's primarily where we do most of our deals. We will wholesale across the nation. We'll wholesale anywhere. But if we're going to buy, fix and flip, or buy and hold, we do it in those 9 states.
I think those are great, great markets. And that's very inspiring. So it took you 9 months to do your first deal, and today you flipped over 3,000 homes.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned from doing all those deals?
Um, I mean, there's a lot of lessons in 18 years. I think the biggest lesson will be is when things are working right, pour into them more. Because a lot of times I've seen myself and others, they'll do a marketing strategy, they'll do PPC, they'll do pay per lead, they'll do direct mail, and it's working. And then they go and try other things, right? So this is working, but now they're trying all these other things. And it takes away from the thing that's actually working and making them money. So one big lesson is as things start to work, pour into it, lean into that more rather than trying other things. Because for most of the listeners, they're likely not at a level of growth. Growth is when you have multiple team members, you're running an organization, usually doing 7 figures, you're at the stage of growth. Um, I would tell you, most of you should be just focusing on the one thing and pouring into it that works. Now, to find what works, you might have to do a couple of different things, try things out, right? But once you do find the thing that works, lean into it and hunker down and create that level of income.
I love that, man. For you, you said you invest in 9 different states. How do you identify the best real estate markets for flipping or investing, and how do you know those markets are best to invest in?
Yeah, so I'm looking for appreciation over just rent, right? And so if I'm buying and holding, I want to be in a market that has a level of appreciation. I'm not just concerned about cash flow. I do like cash flow, don't get me wrong, but I'm not only concerned about cash flow. And so if there's good appreciation, that means there's probably good flips and good buy and holds. And so I try to target markets that are under 400,000 and under as good markets. And so the states I mentioned really are that. And On top of which I have a pretty good network. So I know where the hedge funds are or aren't buying, why they're not buying. So I kind of keep abreast of where the big boy money is at, the billions of dollars. And so I try to align myself with markets that they would like because they're not really playing very heavy right now, but they're going to be back. So when they come back, I want to be in markets that they're going to like.
Oh, well said. You spoke a little bit about the flips you've done and all the accomplishments you've been doing. Let's talk a little bit about failure. There's no real successful investor out there without any challenges or failures. What's
Yep.
one failure that turned out to be a pivotal moment in your career?
My first seven-figure loss was a pivotal moment. And the biggest reason it was pivotal is because I proved to myself I can be knocked down and almost knocked out, but still get back up and rise and still create more and be better and make more money and do more deals. I'm on the verge of being knocked out, seven-figure loss. And this was back in 2016. So almost 10 years from that day. And I've done more, made more, accomplished more since that moment. But that was the moment that I proved to myself that, if I stay going, if I keep moving forward one step at a time, you can ultimately achieve something way bigger. Even if you feel like you just lost, you didn't, as long as you get back up. So that one mistake, that one loss, it was seven figures. That was pivotal because it proved to me that I can keep going.
And what would you say in today's market? Some people are having challenges with different things, but let's focus on this specific thing. Is your secret to finding good deals in today's market in those states that you said?
What is my secret to finding them?
Yeah.
Consistent marketing. I mean, our business is just lead generating. That's all we do as real estate investors. I don't care whether you wholesale it, fix and flip it, buy and hold it. Our entire business is lead generation, right? So having a diversity. So we do online marketing, we do direct mail, we do TV marketing, and we still work with agents. Now, I have an organization at my level. I'm not saying that's right for all of you, but having a diversity in how I generate leads is what's going to be able to win the game. Now, if I'm someone who's a little bit newer, I would argue you don't need to spend a ton of money like on direct mail or TV. Very expensive. Um, but you can still do things like reaching out to agents, create some level of off market, meaning direct to homeowner marketing, and have a budget for something like that.
Those are some great tips. Let's talk a little bit more about your podcast. What's the core philosophy behind the science of flipping? And can you share with us a favorite episode or a guest that has said something that really amazed you?
Yeah, so the science of flipping, the core behind it is you need to be dynamic. You don't need to be just a wholesaler. You're not just a fix and flipper. You're not just a landlord. You are a lead generating real estate investor. So you are trying to find as many leads as possible and then find the best potential of that lead. If you can find the best potential of that lead, then you can figure out what is the best exit. Do you keep it? Do you flip it? Or do you just wholesale it? So the whole principle is you are a dynamic real estate investor, right? You are not a one trick pony. And so that is that is the real core principle besides the science of flipping. I've had so many guests on and they've said so many great things, but I can tell you, I think the one thing that is a common theme that all my guests have said, including myself, is this kind of idea is just keep going, right? You're gonna have challenges, you're gonna have failures, you're gonna miss, you're gonna fall down, you're gonna lose money, you're gonna miss the deal, the whatever. Those challenges are going to happen. You just keep going. You don't quit, right? I just made an episode about not quitting. You just don't. Because if you quit, then you ultimately lose, right? And then you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm the quitter and I'm the one that led us to the loss, no one else, because I gave up. So just don't quit, regardless of the challenges, because they are going to be there. Just don't quit.
I love that, man. And I love what you said about, doing different things, but when something's working, really put your all in it. And
Yep.
that's some what I took in from today. That's amazing. And, I could tell that you're a coach because you're very inspiring. I love the energy that you're giving out here. What's, in your opinion, the most impactful success story from someone that you've mentored?
There's a guy recently that came into my life, had every excuse under the book. His name's Mo. He had two full-time jobs. He had a full-time job, 9 to 5, and then he would go and work at uh, uh, In and Out at night. He has 3 kids. He has a wife. He had every reason to say why he couldn't do this. but he wanted more. He wanted freedom. He wanted time freedom, and he loved real estate. And he paid every coach a bunch of money, and nothing really was working. And he got into my community at REI Live. So if you want to check out my community, it's reilive.co, no M, .co. Um, and within 30 days, he did two deals. He got two checks within 30 days working with me and my team at reilive.co. And to me, it just showed he's like the shining example of if you want something and it becomes a priority, there's nothing that will get in your way because he had every excuse ever. Three kids, wife, two jobs, like of why he couldn't do it. But he made a decision of what he wanted. He made a decision of who he needed to be to get it, and he got it done. And in the first 30 days of being in my community, he collected two checks.
And for our viewers that are watching this and are inspired, and we'll work with seasoned investors, but we'll also work with new, fresh investors.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone struggling to close their first deals or can't close any deals right now in general?
Get into reilive.co. It's a membership. It's $200 a month. We have 5 calls a week, 2 to 3 hours a day, every day. And I and my team will be doing the deals with you. I'm not trying to get rich off of you and charge you 20 grand for coaching. I want to do deals with you. We'll do joint venture deals. They're split 50-50. And you actually will see me underwrite the deal, comp the deal. You'll listen to me call the homeowner, call the agent, negotiate the deal, put the whole deal together, and I'll be doing it for you and with you, and we'll joint venture. That is the best thing I can offer anyone new. Don't go spend 20 grand on a coach. Get into reilive.co, be a part of the membership, and you will see me each and every day, and I'll be doing deals with you and working them with you, not just getting rich off of you.
And Justin, you've been in this industry for a really long time and you could tell you're successful, you're very inspirational, but it takes a lot of work in a person to put in daily habits, to put that mindset, to go through the failures that we've been speaking about, to try different things. This industry is beautiful, but it also has a lot of headaches and stress in it. What's one daily habit that has made the biggest impact on your success?
If you win the morning, you win the day. Win the morning. And what that means to me is I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. I get my cup of coffee. I sit in quiet. I journal. I write out my productivity list of the things that I need to get done today that weren't done yesterday. I'm able to hit the gym. I'm at the gym by 6 a.m. I finish the gym. I'm home. I'm showered. I wake up my two kids. I spend the morning with my kids and my wife. That is winning the morning. And then all the other shit that comes my way during the day, all the fire, the rain, the hassle, the challenges, all that stuff, I can take on with my head up, with shoulders back, and go after them because I won my morning.
Amazing. And to wrap this up, if you could just share one piece of advice or a quote that's had the biggest impact on your success as an investor, as a public figure, what would it be and why?
A quote. Well, there is a quote called "Man in the Arena," and I won't be able to quote it, but you guys can all look it up. "Man in the Arena" is a longer quote, but essentially it's like the critics aren't the important people; they're the ones pointing the fingers. They're the ones, criticizing you. They're the ones in the cheap seats. But it's the man in the arena who deserves all the praise because he's the one doing the work. And I just love it because it's the reality of real life is the people who are in the trenches doing it, they're ultimately going to be the ones that deserve the praise, that are going to get what they want. And all the other people who are critiquing and laughing and judging, they're just going to have a shallow life. And it's made a big impact on me to always continue to be the man in the arena, in the trenches, in the ring, doing work.
Amazing. And what's the future for you, Justin? What do we expect to see from you in the next following years?
More so I'm passionate about reilive.co. I want to help a lot of the newer people who are challenged out there. There's a lot of newbies out there that are having a hard time getting their first deal. I want to pour into them. So again, we do deals 50-50. I'm not getting rich off you. I'm getting rich with you. It's $200 a month, and I want to get that group up to about 1,000 people. And let's go do a deal a day, a deal every single day. Right now, we're doing about 1 or 2 contracts a day. We're doing a couple deals each and every month, but I want all my newbies in there. reilive.co. That's I'm super passionate. And then to continue building my portfolio and doing deals and building my wealth. So one day, if I decide, I can just go sit on the beach and enjoy the sun.
Sure. Well, you're more than invited to come here. We're in Miami. We'd love to have you out here. But yeah, Justin, thank you so much for sharing your insights and experience with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on Investor One-on-One. If our investors want to connect with you and learn more about you, you said they can find you how?
Instagram,
Instagram.
the Justin Colby on Instagram at the Justin Colby.
Perfect. Thank you, Justin.
All right, dude. See ya.